We're sitting here in the cold, this story never gets old. It's the same every year, Kipper season is here. Park is empty post-Christmas cheer, folks can paying bills, shedding a tear. Credit cards maxed, deposits on sun-soaked shores. Well, I'm idling on ranks, staring at closed doors. Oh, Kipper season, time to Kipper eat cheap. Herring on toast when the fares run deep. London's asleep, the meters don't beep. Every cat for himself in this wintry creep. Kipper season, yeah, it's biting us hard. The spring's on the horizon, deal the next card. Long queues on the ranks, frost on the wheel. Mates turn to rivals, no time for the deal. Year-round we're courteous, wave you through the lane. But now it's overtake, steal the fare in the rain. On blast, echo etiquette's gone with the wind. Desperate for pawners, where do I begin? Skin like the rest, dreaming of steak, not this fish. Kipper season's curse, make a cabbie's wish. All Kipper season, time to Kipper eat cheap. Herring on toast when the fares run deep. London's asleep, the meters don't beep. Every cat for himself in this wintry creep. Kipper season, yeah, it's biting us hard. The spring's on the horizon, deal the next card. But hold on, mate, the New Year's whispering sweet. Flowers in Chelsea, come May, feel the heat. Gateway to summer, the streets come alive. Arabs rolling back in, the ranks start to fry. 7 quid fare, out comes a 50-pound note. Counting the change while the meter stays afloat. Oh, Kipper season, time to Kipper eat cheap. Herring on toast when the fares run deep. London's asleep, the meters don't beep. Every cat for himself in this wintry creep. Kipper season, yes, biting us hard. But summer's return and play the next card. Sitting here in the cold, but the story will turn. Kipper season fades, lessons we learn. Till next year rolls round, we'll chase the light. London cabbies forever through the day and the night.
Taxi!
The Cab Chat Show. Oh, I fucking love these geezers.
Well, welcome back to Cab Chat. We're back again.
Herring
Which
on
one?
toast whilst the fares run deep.
Oh no, tell me about it. We're trying to be consistent, Tom.
We are being a little bit consistent. We
I know,
showed
it's
up
getting a
more
bit,
than once.
I know. It's
This is a thing. We're doing the thing.
This is becoming a thing, yeah. This is becoming a regular occurrence, isn't it? It's not like the last few years of Cab Chat where it's been, yeah, we're going to do it again. When was the last time we did a show? It was 18 months ago. No, this is like 4 weeks on the trot.
A regular fixture, something for us to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it every time.
Something for you to look forward to as well, the viewer and the listener as well.
Yeah,
because we're now going out on YouTube and as a podcast. And if you subscribed through the London Taxi Radio feed, please make sure you subscribe to Cab Chat because we are no longer putting it out through the London Taxi Radio feed. It gets a bit confusing, and I think it annoyed a lot of people because if they were subscribed to London Taxi Radio and to Cab Chat, they was getting it coming up twice. So I think we just need to go out as Cab Chat now rather than London Taxi Radio as well, because it's okay having like 2,500 or 4,000 downloads and a lot of them being from the same person. So it's pointless metric really if everybody's downloading it twice. We need proper metrics so that if we want to attract sponsors and things like that, we can give them true figures. So what are we going to talk about this week, Tom? You have no idea at all, do you? Hey.
I haven't. I've changed the setup a little bit here as the weeks have gone on. First time was just directly in front of the computer. I've now actually kind of get a little bit of a studio setup. If those of you are watching at home on YouTube, will see that my panels are not attached to the wall. But they do. It does give that studio kind of vibe. So as a result, I've not fully set it up, so I've not got any notes or anything in front of me. So Jamie is being the man who's feeding and
direction and
directing the flow of the conversation. So yeah.
So I am going to give Tom some double-sided Velcro for his acoustic panels, so that should he decide to move out, he can just take them with him. How much did they cost you in the end? I quite like them.
They were $240 for a whole wall. They come in, what are they? I think they're 60 wide, 60 centimetres
60 wide, aren't they? Are they 2 metres long or 180 or something like that?
I got 2.4 metres to cut it down, because I think 2 metres wasn't quite enough.
Yeah.
So I had to get 2.4.
Are they very heavy?
Not massively, no. They're just awkward.
Because I'm thinking they're using them for the roof in my camper van, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not too bad.
Because of the two reasons: it's acoustic, it's insulation as well.
Yep.
And it looks nice as well. They look nice. I think they look really nice.
It's made this little home office room I've got a really calming sort of space, because it just deadened all the echo.
Yeah.
And it's a much more cooler, kind of calmer vibe, and the warmth of the panel is quite nice as well. So
yeah.
Can recommend. Wood Veneer Hub, not sponsored.
Wood Veneer Hub. Well, yeah. I have to have a look at that.
For your finest wood needs.
For your finest wood needs, eh? So the Ford Maxi cab was back out at Heathrow just before Christmas again. You got any thoughts on it? Have you seen it?
I've only seen the pictures. I've not sat in it. Right. And no doubt, it's a very, very good vehicle. And you can already see where I'm going with the words no doubt.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I've driven it. I did a YouTube video about it. Does drive nice. Drives very nice. For me personally, absolutely no use at all. Because for weddings, I need a traditional London taxi, whatever you decide to call a traditional London taxi. And also, for the tours I do, they want a traditional black cab, even though mine's white. Which I do get a lot of comments about, and I always say, well, it might be white, but it identifies as being black. But yeah, I mean, you have to explain to people that, the term black cab is a generic term to describe a London taxi. No one really knows where the term black cab comes from, actually. But anyway, we're going off track there. So go on, where was you going with what you were saying then?
More alluding to the fact that I like the rich heritage of the London taxi, the iconic shape, the turning circle specifically. I think that's where I was going with it, because if you don't know, the whole idea of the Ford Maxi cab is that it hasn't got a turning circle. So they're trying to chance TfL, the Mayor of London's office, his arm to say, we want this cab, but can you get rid of your turning circle requirement? Which you'd think on paper, turning circle, why do we need it? It's quite an outdated thing. I tried looking into researching the history of it, and it goes back, obviously, best part of 100 years or so, like quite a way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's I feel like if it allows manufacturers to then cut corners on that, they'll then cut corners on the iconic shape of the vehicle and so forth. And that's why I'm quite preserving of the turning circle, I believe. Yeah.
There is the argument for competition, but I think with the numbers, and when the taxi trade was at 25,000 drivers, I think the trade could, to a certain extent, sustain two vehicles and two manufacturers. With the numbers we're at the moment, I don't think we're having trouble sustaining one manufacturer, let alone two manufacturers. The thing is, the Ford Maxi cab is outselling the LEVC at the moment.
Wow.
In terms of numbers, because obviously it's being taken up around the rest of the country. So it's obviously doing quite well around the rest of the country. But then around the rest of the country, they're getting decent grants to put wheelchair accessible zero emissions vehicles on the road, or zero emissions capable vehicles on the road, whichever way you want to look at it, because it is available outside of London in both an electric form and also in a hybrid form as well. They're trying to present the only electric form to TfL. I don't think TfL are going to entertain it, to be honest with you, without the turning circle. But as I say, it is a nice vehicle to drive. It's got a lot of space in it.
Because some of the people working on it was actually, because it's Allied Vehicles, isn't it? Based in Glasgow, I think, aren't they, or in Scotland? And they've actually got the gent who sort of helps the conversions.
Not Jerry Facina.
That's the main man there, isn't it? Is it Roy McMasters, who's
Roy
the guy?
Yeah.
He was the one who did
Penzo.
the turning circle on the Vitos.
Yeah.
The rear wheel steer, rather, yeah.
Yeah.
And presumably because of the troubles that had, they've been not wanting to.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a lot to outfit just for one market, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven Vitos and worked Vitos, and to be honest with you, I didn't miss the turning circle. Me personally, I very rarely use the turning circle. Very rarely you do U-turns nowadays. There's a lot of places where you can't do U-turns. It is nice to have. But personally, I don't think it's an essential. That said, I don't want to lose our identity either.
Yes, that's it. I'm not. It's not because I want a cab that does a tight U-turn. That's a fun thing, when you're on the front door of Selfridges and you get a full lock and you can perfectly spin it off of there without having to do any shunts. But it's not about that. I'd happily do the shunts if the vehicle was right. Like if they somehow, if for example the option to have the Asquith cab came back, something like that, I would love to drive something like that. And if it didn't have a,
no, you wouldn't.
But just the kind of look or iconic, if it was a comfortable vehicle or something, something iconic and fun like that. And I think that's what it's about. Even if it didn't have the, if we got let's play devil's advocate here. Let's take a Ford Maxi cab.
Yeah.
That does have a U-turn on it.
Yeah.
Or a traditional London taxi without a U-turn. What would you have?
Right, depends on how I'm working, right? Doing tours and doing weddings.
You've got two modes though. You've got airport mode and you've got tour mode.
Yeah. So doing tours and doing weddings, I would go for the traditional London cab. Just working the streets and working the airport, I would go for the Ford Maxi cab.
Interesting.
The ideal cab would be what we have now with more luggage space.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest with you, the luggage space we've got in the front of the electric cab is the worst amount of luggage space we've had in the cab for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest barrier to us getting pre-booked work from the airport. Because you have to say to people, how many bags have you got? No, sorry, I can't get 4 of you and that many suitcases in the cab. So with a better luggage space, it would probably be more viable for the airport. The type of drivers that would buy the Ford Maxi cab are those that would just work the airport all the time.
Yeah.
They would go for it. But I don't think they would go for it in a fully electric form, because the vast majority of drivers in London have nowhere to charge. I mean, you yourself, when you was living in rented accommodation, and I shouldn't imagine where you are now, you've got no facility to charge.
I can hang a cable out the window, but I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to use that cab because obviously it's a much bigger battery, which means you're not going to be able to charge it on a 3-pin plug. You've got to have a proper charging infrastructure.
Yeah. And if you live in a flat or you live in rented accommodation where you can't have a charge point put in, then how are you supposed to go to work?
Yeah.
If the taxi trade is going to go to a fully electric mode, then we're gonna halve our numbers again.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest threats that probably no one's really talking about, because it's the writing's on the wall. It does want to go electric with everything.
Well, in the Mayor's action plan is for all newly licensed taxis to be fully electric. To be honest, if it goes that way, I'll be keeping what I've got and just patching and repairing it until it's got to come off the road.
Yeah.
Because there isn't the infrastructure in London to charge a cab, and it's too bloody expensive.
Yeah, that's
the problem.
When it was great when they first came about, but yeah, now just the prices have gone up and up.
Yep.
It doesn't. I worked out that the current infrastructure is, well, it's okay because no one's doing it, but there used to be a time when it was really difficult to get on a charger because it was new, it was novel, everyone wanted to go and charge their cabs. The thing is that you wouldn't necessarily need more chargers, you would just need faster chargers.
Yeah.
Because the way it currently works, you've got 50 kilowatt chargers. If you go and charge your electric cab, it takes about, I mean, you can get most of your charge done in 45 minutes, but let's say up to an hour. Well, if you double the speed of it, then you can get 2 cabs on that charger in the hour. If you can quadruple the speed of it, then you can get 4 cabs within that hour. So it don't necessarily need more charge points. Obviously, that would be handy, but they just need to be a hell of a lot faster, especially if the capacity of the battery is going to get bigger.
Well, you say you wouldn't need more charge points, but in reality you would, because if you've got that number of taxis wanting to charge, you would need more charge points, because even at the moment you're looking at charge points, and 9 times out of 10 there's already someone on them. There's already a cab on them, so you would need more charge points. And I've always said I don't think electric is going to be fully viable until you can literally go to a charge point, plug it in, and spend as long with it plugged in as you do pumping diesel into a cab, and then unplug it again and then drive off again. That's when it's going to be viable.
Well, I can't remember. There was a company, I did see a video online that they would do battery changes, just like the good old days of when they had the Hummingbird taxis. But they would actually, it's a modern vehicle, but they changed the whole battery pack, and the idea is that the infrastructure is much better, because rather than always vehicles just sat around it being charged there, they can charge them elsewhere, and you just swap a battery pack in and out.
But then the problem becomes again that you've got to drive to wherever that station is that does the battery change. Which is time out your working day again.
But if it's also an option, then it then frees up the charging on the streets per se, and it's an alternative option, really. I personally, I did a tour down to Stonehenge and Bath the other day, and I drove around Bath looking for a charge point. I couldn't find one. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not one that was easily publicly accessible.
Yeah.
That I could have used. In actual fact, I couldn't find any.
Wow. Yeah.
So that means I would not be able to do work like that ever again, because I couldn't take the risk of leaving home, driving up into London, picking the clients up, going to Stonehenge, going to Bath, and then thinking, what if I get stuck in a traffic jam?
Yeah.
I know that it's going to use very little power stuck in a traffic jam, but if it's in the winter or it's cold,
when you've got the heaters on, or if you get like a real bad winter jam, where you're stuck there for 4 hours or so, and the heating goes out, well, then what?
I mean, I know that my cab can make it from home into London, Stonehenge to Bath, and then back to London again, and back home again on a full charge and a full tank of petrol. I never ever take that chance. As I'm coming out of Bath, I fill it back up again. Just in case, because it's resilience. It's having that option that if I'm stuck on the motorway in a traffic jam, they're not going to freeze to death in the back. You can just run it on petrol. So I don't know. So at the moment, I don't think the Ford Maxi cab is a viable alternative at the moment. So I think they need to look at the hybrid version coming into London Just if the fully electric version at the moment is not an option, I don't think. And if we're going to go fully electric, we're wiping out half of our driver base, and we can't afford to do that.
No.
Getting on to the next point, the sharp decline in driver numbers over the last year, which there has been some good news on that, that apparently the decline has started to level off a bit. And
yeah, I think we're still declining, but I can see positive numbers coming onto the knowledge. So in the future, that decline is not going to be as declining. I think it was the other news came out as well. There was less expected retirees as well.
Yeah, but that was only for a couple of weeks. I mean, there was 75 at the beginning of December. In the first 2 weeks of December, we lost 75 drivers. Even though there was new licences issued, we still lost 75 drivers in 2 weeks, which is
mad.
A huge amount of drivers. And you continue losing that many drivers, and that's why the Centre for, I can't remember who it was, the research who said we was going to be extinct by 2045 or whatever it is. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we need a lot more people to come on the knowledge.
I don't know if that was an actual think tank number. I think that was actually my number I put in a video that's been hyper exaggerated and claimed now.
Probably.
I basically worked out at a rate of 1,000 a year, which is what it was. I was like, well, it's about 15,000. Okay, then, well, that takes up to 2040 or whatever. There'll be no cab drivers left.
But then you've got new ones coming in. So
exactly.
700 and something applicants for the knowledge this year.
Yeah.
Which
is... I think it was a 70% increase, I think it was. It was something like that.
Well, let's get back to the sort of numbers that used to apply in years gone by, where it was about 1,000 a year would apply. You always had about 3,000 to 5,000 people on the knowledge, which through the pandemic you didn't have that, because a lot of people just gave it up during the pandemic. It was on it anyway.
Yeah.
And the Public Carriage Office or Transport for London really didn't know how many people were on the knowledge, because they had people that were still active knowledge boys and girls or knowledge participants that they hadn't heard from for years. So.
Yeah, I guess that's the downside in the data there, isn't it? That they didn't hear from it, and also they paused some of the examinations, obviously, whilst the COVID was going on. So you don't know your regular inflow of people coming through, so you have no way of comparing the two data sets.
That's right, yeah.
But fingers crossed we're on the right upwards trend. We mentioned in last week's episode about the times how certain people are wanting to uptake on the knowledge, and hopefully that's going to have a good boost as well. There was quite a big figure that was spouted by one fleet owner as to how much you could earn in a day.
Earn a day, yeah. Yeah. Just wait until the tax man does his tax return.
If that adds up, that would be $2,500 a week based upon 5 days a week, which is then just over 100 grand in turnover, which the VAT man wants his bit too.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know where he gets them figures from, but even Shane said, don't tell my wife that, will you?
It can be done, but to do that sustainable, you can't do it every day. Exactly.
You cannot do it every day. Even if you have a long day and a good day, you usually find the following day you're absolutely shattered and you don't do as many hours.
Exactly.
So it
consistency is key.
It's not, as you say, consistency is the key thing, and that's why we're trying to be consistent with cab chat now. So, but there is possible. I mean, there was the video on Dean's channel where the driver earned £900 and something in a day. I mean, that's just
Mr. 970 Phil Leach.
Yeah, Phil
that's
Leach,
his nickname
Mr.
now.
970. Yeah. Hello, Mr. 970. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he's probably done some long days and he probably has earned some good money, but we've
all done it, but then you tend to find, as I say, you end up having the following day off.
And there's obviously a lot of luck involved on some of them.
Yeah.
There's some days where you think, right, I'm going to go out and do 16-hour days, and it's not a case of hours up, money up.
Yeah.
There's a big luck component.
It doesn't always work out like that. You do more and more hours. The thing is, you do more and more hours, you take more and more breaks as well during them hours. You cannot drive consistently for that length of time.
Yeah.
So it all evens out at the end of the day.
Or at the end of the year.
£970 a day would make it, if he was doing 5 days a week, about $4,500 a week. That'd make him
52 weeks of the year, $4,500. That's $4,500. Wait, did you say $4,500 a week? Bloody hell! So that's then 20 grand for you on a calculator. There we go. Quick.
I'm gonna because my phone's decided it's not going to recognise me again. It keeps doing this. I think I'm going to have to redo my face on this. So 4,500. Let's just say by 48 weeks, about £216,000 a year. So, yeah, Phil, it's not really sustainable, shall we say. You may be able to do it one day, but you can't do it every single day of the week. So, yeah, U-turns. This is something you put on the list, U-turn fines. What can we do about U-turn fines? I can tell you what we can do about it. Don't do illegal U-turns.
But it's really ambiguous, though, isn't it? Like knowing... Not ambiguous, but like where the actual law kind of sits on it. So the thing we're talking about here, predominantly the one that comes up, is the no U-turn on the Aldwych.
It's a double white line.
But, I'm just saying but here because I just want to think out loud. It's not something me advocating for doing it and stuff like this. Double white line, you can still cross to access property or premises, like somewhere, right? Let's say your drive was over on the right. Like, so the right turn into Drury Lane is ignore the fact that there's... Wait, I'm going way off here. Wait, let me start again.
Right.
Let's say you have a house at the... I can't think of the name of the bloody hotel.
The Waldorf.
The Waldorf. I thought it was the Waldorf. You're coming from the city and your driveway is
at the Waldorf.
Is at the Waldorf, yeah?
Yep.
Now, you need to be able to access that, so you can turn right over those to get into it, yeah?
Yep. But the law's a bit ambiguous on it because it says you can turn right across a double white line for access or to gain access. But if you want access to Drury Lane, so why can't you turn right?
Oh, that's an actual no right turn, so that's then negated.
Is there a no right turn sign
there?
there?
Yeah, there's a no right turn sign there, yeah.
Oh, right. There never used to be.
That's why I didn't want to use that as... No, I think it's been there since they reverted it. It's been there for quite a while.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not that obvious, though.
I think it's another one of those ones, a bit like Piccadilly turning right into Stratton Street. It's so far over, there might be a bus in front of it. You're in the right-hand lane, so it won't... Yeah, it won't be that obvious. It's a bit more obvious than the one on Piccadilly.
But yeah,
still...
you're quite correct. You can turn right across a double white line to gain access.
So, therefore, can you then do a U-turn to then drop a passenger at the Waldorf? Or pick up a passenger from the Waldorf? This is what I mean.
See, the thing is, most of the people that have been done for doing a U-turn have literally picked someone up.
And they're going to go over Waterloo Bridge.
And done a U-turn to go over Waterloo Bridge. And this is where that car or the coppers getting them nicked.
Yeah. And
so
it's...
But then, the
it's not as obvious as... Yeah, the workaround is crazy. But it's not as obvious...
Whichever way round you go.
If you go up Southampton Row, there's a no U-turn there. So on the east side of Victoria House, just before you get to the Doubletree.
So you got to do a left into Drury Lane.
Yep.
If you're coming along the Strand, you want to do a right over Waterloo Bridge. You've got to do a left into Drury Lane, left into Russell Street, left into Catherine Street, right into the Aldwych to get back over Waterloo Bridge, or go all the way around the Aldwych and do a right back into the Strand.
Or since Covent Garden got remodelled, I don't even know whether it's... Some people say it is legal, some people say it isn't. If you're going along the Strand, you do a left after the Strand Palace, I believe, into wherever that is.
You can do a right into Tavistock Street, left into Bow Street, right into... I can't remember the name of it. And then right into Catherine Street, and then right back into the Aldwych.
Correct,
That is legal.
Yeah.
That is legal, but...
It never used to be, but it's been... No, I think they made it two-way.
Because the problem was that Tavistock Street used to be one way.
Yeah.
All the way along, because you just have to go along and then a right into Southampton Street, left into Henrietta Street.
Yeah.
But because you can't get out if you go along there anymore. If it wasn't two-way, you'd be stuck. That'd be it. There'd be loads of cars just stuck at the end there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is actually legal, but the problem is that you normally get stuck at the end of Tavistock Street with a load of traffic trying to come the other way. Because there's always vans and bits and pieces parked along there. So sometimes of a night it's viable. During the daytime, I wouldn't say it's a viable option.
Yeah.
So it just increases the fare for the passenger all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just a bit, it's a bit ambiguous. Like it's obvious when you go up Southampton Road. That was the one I was alluding to. There's a camera on that one. So if you go up Southampton Road, just after the Kingsway tramway bit you have in the middle of the road there, just before you get to the Doubletree, big no U-turn sign there, and don't do it because you will get fined for it. That whole stretch of road is just from there all the way up to Euston Station is cameraed for everything. Yep. So, but that you know where you stand on that. You go down Brompton Road, big no U-turn sign. But on the Aldwych, the only no U-turn signs are on the traffic lights. Now, does that mean you can't U-turn at the traffic lights, or is it referring to the road ahead? Some people go right up to the Kingsway to then get a U-turn there and say, well, I can do it. It's difficult.
But also,
so difficult.
apparently there's a break in the white lines just before Waterloo Bridge as well, and you can get a U-turn there. So if there's a break in the line, it's perfectly legal.
Yeah, same with like a break in like a double yellow line.
Yeah, or a yellow line, you can park there.
Yeah.
So just drive along with some black paint the line out, and then you can park wherever you want.
Yeah, get an angle grinder and just cut that bit of paint out. Yeah.
Cut a bit of paint out and just get rid of it. I was down at Ascot's the other week and talking to the salespeople, and apparently there's not many new cabs left for sale. So it looks like there's going to be a shortage of cabs because they're talking about not starting the production of the new vehicle until 2027.
Oh, wow.
So we've got 12 months to wait unless they end up bringing that forward. But obviously LEVC have got a huge stock of second-hand TXEs that they need to get rid of. Otherwise, they're going to keep being stuck with all of these older cabs that they can't get rid of. So I wonder whether LEVC are trying to create a shortage of cabs artificially by not producing any new ones, so they can actually sell a lot of their second-hand stock off.
Yeah, that's got to be the way to do it, because I think years ago, 2019, when I bought my cab, there was no second-hand stock.
Yeah.
But that would have been my game. I would have bought a second-hand cab rather
really?
than a... Yeah, because... Well, I guess you can write off the depreciation of a newer vehicle, fine, but you probably get to do a level of that with a second-hand cab anyway. But, it's the same with buying a brand new personal vehicle. You don't want to do that. Yeah. You might as well buy one that's sort of done a bit of miles, it's lost a bit of value, so it's a bit cheaper.
The only thing with buying a second-hand one, you usually find the interest rate on a second-hand one is a lot higher than the interest rate on a new one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Don't know how my interest rate could have got much higher.
Well, nor could mine. Mine's really high. Mine's higher than yours was.
Oh, really? 8.7% I was.
10.
Whew.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but it is what it is at the time, isn't it? You can't say to them, I'm not buying it because it's that much. And they just say, all right, someone else will.
Yeah, and holding, high interest on long term isn't too bad, because especially in the high inflationary periods we've been in.
Yeah.
As an example, sorry, I was getting into a bit of economics here, but taking out a finance on a 70 grand cab in 2019 and I paid it off in 2024. Well, 70 grand in 2019 is not the same as 70 grand in 2024.
Yeah.
So
and also, it's all tax deductible anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So it swings and roundabouts, really. If you want to buy a cab, it doesn't matter what the interest rate is. If you need a vehicle, it's
where else are you going to get that sort of money from? Yeah, unless you can remortgage and pull out your house, then you ain't got.
And even if you do that, your interest rate on your house is going to be higher than what it was before you remortgaged. So it's all swings and roundabouts, and it's not something I've ever looked at when I've been buying a cab, to be honest with you, because there's not really a lot you can do about it. You can't alter the interest rate. You can shop around and see if you can get a loan cheaper, but sometimes if you're taking out a personal loan rather than it can have.
I was about to say that it doesn't.
Benefits.
Yeah, so obviously a personal loan then against, if you want to then get a mortgage, you've got that person against you. But then again, the finance on a cab still went against... Still goes against you because they just see it as an unsecured loan. That could be 70 grand on a Lamborghini or 70 grand on a cab. It all looks the same. It could be 70 grand on a van, but then as you say, with a personal loan though, the only thing to be wary of is that the lender sometimes gets a bit funny if it's being used for a business purposes.
Yep.
So it's something
and also,
else to watch
if you
out
do
for.
have severe problems with it, if your finance is through the manufacturer,
yes,
you have some comeback, and you can say you can have the vehicle back because it's not fit for purpose.
Correct.
If you've got a personal loan, you've not got that option really, because people that have given you the personal loan are not going to say, "Oh yeah, we'll have it, not a problem." So you haven't got the same protections to a certain extent. So that's why I've never ever gone down that route. But talking about it going against your credit, I mean, my credit rating was almost perfect before I bought the cab, and it sunk down to like bad.
Yeah,
literally after I bought it.
Same with me. I used to go into the bank, and then people were like, "You want a credit card? Do you want a loan? Do you want this?" They'll give everything to me, and then as soon as I got a cab, I couldn't get a credit card for the longest time. I could get one of those like credit builder cards that gives you about £300 a month. What am I going to do £300 a month?
It's like when I went to buy my MacBook. It was like I've had credit with Apple for years, buying phones and iPads and things like that. MacBook, I'll have a MacBook Pro, and I'll have this in it, I'll have that in it, that, and it was only £2,600 over 3 years. Sorry, you've been declined. What?
Yeah.
And that's when I looked at my credit rating and I thought, how's that happened? £85,000 for against my name for Volvo car finance.
Yep.
And that's the reason why. It does affect your credit rating. So if you are looking to get a mortgage, go and rent a cab.
Yeah, that's any new entrants into this trade, because that was the thing I wanted to do. It was like, well, I want to get get on the property. That's one of the sort of motivating things to get me through the knowledge. It was like, right, well, I can go work for myself. I can go work really hard, get a deposit for a house, and away you go. But I also wanted to get my own cab, and I had to really sort of toss those two up and go, right, what am I going to do first? And I went with the cab first, but I wouldn't have been able to get a property whilst I was still paying that off. So, But here we go. 8 years later, I've done both.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing about this trade, and I'm sure there's been many other cab drivers who can replicate that story to some degree, whether it's getting a mortgage, or if they've paid it off over a long enough career. You can do this. It's a great trade.
Yeah.
For anyone new who might be listening to this podcast who wants to know a bit more about.
Well, hopefully there's lots of new people listening, and I haven't got a problem with private hire drivers listening to this either.
No.
Because if they're aspiring to be a black cab driver, a London taxi driver, then they're going to want to gain some information as to the trade, and where better place to find it than the longest running podcast in the London taxi trade. And apparently I put it into Google the other day. Tell me some things about Cab Chat. And apparently it's one of the longest running podcasts on the planet.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
11 years. 11 years. We're coming up to 12 years now.
That's mad.
So it makes it the longest, because me and Mac didn't do it consistently like after the pandemic, but because we still produced shows, it's classed as being one of the longest running podcasts on the planet.
Wow.
So, yeah. Stepping into big boots there, Tom, you know that.
You're listening to some seriously fine history here, ladies and gents.
Mac's got size 10 shoes,
Oh, mate, I could easily fit straight into those. 7.5, mate.
With your memory and his memory, I'd love to get used to doing the show together, because that'd be fun.
Oh, it'd cancel each other out, probably, yeah. Who's he? He doesn't know who I am.
Yeah, who's he? Yeah, he'd be like, oh. One of the things that's been coming up quite a lot on social media lately.
Actually, sorry, on that point, when did you say he last drove a cab?
A couple of years ago.
Oh, okay, but before that, wasn't there a hiatus? There was a time before that.
We all had a bit of a hiatus because of the pandemic, didn't we?
Yeah.
So he did a couple of years, And he's always done a little bit every now and again, but just to keep his licence going, to be honest with you, because otherwise, if you do less, if you haven't driven for more than 2 years now, you're supposed to do the knowledge again, aren't you?
Well, if you haven't driven for 2 years?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, apparently if you haven't driven for 2 years now, they're asking you to do the knowledge again.
I don't know if that's true, because I thought you just renew. You just renew your badge and...
No, years ago, on the back of your licence, if you didn't own a cab, you needed someone to sign your licence for you if you hadn't driven a cab, because say that you'd rented a cab, which meant that you'd driven a cab.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you own a cab, you'll never come up against a problem, because they assume you own a cab. It's the only cab you own. It's not like you're a fleet proprietor, and you're going to work in your cab. So you'll never come up against a problem. If you don't own a cab and you haven't rented a cab because no one signed your licence on the back of it saying you've rented, then how do they know whether you've worked as a cab driver or not?
Yeah, but I still think that's not one they can enforce. I mean, my last garage I rented from, when I bought my cab, they lost my bill.
Yeah.
So I had to contact TfL, get a brand new bill, and it was fine. I just got that. So that proof would have been sort of voided anyway. I guess I could have got it. 'Cause I did hear a story on Twitter of some driver whose bill was kind of held at ransom because of damage on a cab, and he had to pay up to get his bill back, but they don't own the bill. They can't hold it at ransom. So
he hasn't driven consistently since about 2018.
That's the point I was going to get onto. So I got out end of 2017.
Yep.
So 2018 was my first year basically into the game. So
yeah, he hasn't driven consistently since then, but he has driven because he's borrowed cabs off of people and off of mushers and other people, and just gone out and done a couple of days.
Yeah, that was my point though. So and it's a nice kind of changeover then.
Yeah.
The old in with the new.
Yeah, apparently I spoke to him the other day and he said he was renewing his licence, and it says on your licence application, apparently, if you haven't driven for more than 2 years, you need to do the knowledge. You need to do not the knowledge, a refresher.
Yeah. Oh, very interesting. It must be a new thing. So I've got a few friends who've I've got a mate who he got his badge, he got his rec before me, but he's probably been out. He probably can't even count on both hands how many times he's been out in the cab. And those were all before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So he probably went out about 10 times before 2020. Hasn't been out since. So he's obviously had a renewal between then. And I won't say who it is, obviously. But
no, don't do that. No, don't do that. Definitely don't do that. As we're now in February, are we going to announce our fish and chip nights that we're going to do?
Yeah. Trouble is, I don't want to commit to something and then find out I'll be there.
Planning that far in advance, do you?
Well, I don't like committing because it's like, as and when. When am I always in town, basically? That's when I want to do.
What night are you always in town?
Monday it always seems like I'm in town, but that coincides with the Pie and Mash Club.
Well, not really, because if we do it on alternative months.
Oh, alternative months? That means we're only going to get 6 fish and chips clubs. Is that enough? 6 Pie and Mash clubs?
Yeah, otherwise we're going to keep going around and around and around, aren't we?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay then, cool. We can go for a Monday then. How about last Monday of the month?
Let's go for the last Monday of February. Yeah?
Oh, I like your thinking, good sir. That'll
Monday
be the 23rd
of February.
Yes.
So, as you're the fish and chip aficionado, you have now got to select the fish and chip shop we're going to meet at.
Yeah, but do I pick one I've been to a lot, or do I pick a brand new one just to kind of just really
I think
throw it open?
To start with, I think you need to pick somewhere that you're comfortable going to.
Kennedy's at Goswell Road. Done.
I knew you was going to say Kennedy's in Goswell Road.
I never used to rate them. I remember going there like when you'd always... A lot of these establishments, when you'd see all the cabs parked outside, and when I first got my badge, I thought, well, there's a lot of cabs parked outside there, that must be the place to go. And I've done it with a few different establishments. Went there, I must have got takeaway, I think, and the chips, I looked at chips, and they were like these like quite thicker chips I'd never had from a fish and chip shop before, like quite big steaky chips. And I was like, what is this? And I didn't buy it. And then from doing a few fish and chip videos on YouTube, and when you have, it's quite a good taste test really, because you're having like 5 in the course of a day. You're not eating all of them, but you're definitely tasting each one.
Do you know? I didn't know you did that in one day.
Yeah, because then the camera operator would then take some. I'm going out tomorrow actually, as it happens. I'm going to do some filming.
Oh yeah.
We're actually. Well, it'll be out by the time this comes out, so sorry, listeners.
Yeah,
but basically asking cab drivers for their recommendations of where to eat. Just going to go up
we talked about this, didn't we?
Yeah, going to go up and down a rank and just go, where do you stop for your lunch? Where do you stop for your lunch? You know, and just hopefully try and get some gems. But anyway, I never used to rate Kennedy's at Goswell Road, but then from doing a few of those fish and chip videos, comparing them directly, it's just, it's incredible. Some real big thick bits of cod, real lovely golden brown colour. The chips are so Moorish. You don't need to put any condiments on them. By themselves, they're a good chip, which is my hallmark of a good chip.
Because I remember when you done that video, one of the places you said was really nice was Fishco down at Waterloo as well.
Yes, so it was another
which
video
is
done,
surprising, really, because it's not a place where a lot of cab drivers go. But it always seems to be busy. But
famous patrons include I don't know if it's Gordon Brown. John Prescott used to go there.
Well, he's been everywhere.
Lee Evans.
Yeah.
There was a few other ones in there. Yeah, they were saying I think Tom Hardy was in there. Like
because
when
you
I went
think
there,
Waterloo Road, the first place you think about is Masters, obviously.
Yeah.
Down Waterloo Road, which is always got cab drivers going in.
And that's a great shout as well, because you get like they give you the prawns, the starters, and the bread as well. So that's a real nice place. But there's loads of other ones I want to tick off as well. So you want to come on the journey?
Oh, definitely. I do like a bit of fish and chips.
But it's obviously finding ones that are then geared up to have sit in, restaurant sort of as well, really. Because some can vary quite wildly in price between takeaway and then sitting in for it.
Yeah, but you got Fish Central as well in
very good
King
as well.
Square. Really good. So you got all places like that we can try. I'm definitely up for that. Up for that.
So if you want to come join, we'll confirm the time nearer then. I'd imagine probably a 7 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah, definitely 7
that's
o'clock.
on the 23rd, Monday the 23rd of February.
I'm going to have to put all this in my diary now, aren't
I better hope it's not clashing with something already in my diary.
Anyway, so if it is clashing with something in Tom's diary, I'll be there, but he won't. And don't forget to send us in your driver's funny stories. We still want your funny stories and who you've had in the back of your cab. And can you think of any other features we can have, Tom?
I think it's got to be food. We've got to be food features.
Food features.
Little hidden gems in that. I get really upset with myself sometimes that I work in London. You go, you're there.
You don't try these different places.
Yeah, you just think, why do I always go to the same places? And it's something in choice architecture, I think it is. There, exploit versus explore, which is basically when do you explore, like when do you say, right, I'm going to go to my favourite restaurant versus I'm going to try a new restaurant.
Something new. Yeah.
And it's generally the correct way of doing it is that if you live there or if you've got enough time in a place, you should always be exploring new places, and you should only really exploit when you know that you've not got much time there. So if, let's say you're on holiday, well, it makes sense to go and explore so many options at the beginning of your holiday. Then once you've narrowed down your best options, then you go and exploit and go to them as much as possible towards the end of your holiday, because you know it's going to finish. It's not worth trying to find somewhere new at the end of your holiday in case it is really good, or you screw it up entirely. Same sort of thing with food out in the cab. I just think there must be some more hidden little delis and places. Like I went to a real nice little Italian deli sandwich kind of shop, and it's on an alleyway off of, come on, Tom, where's the street name? I can't put it. No, it's not Good Street, is it? Do the knowledge, boys and girls. It improves your memory and your hippocampus. Ico Pizza on the corner of, it's Charlotte and Gouge, isn't it, I think? Yeah, so opposite Ico Pizza, there's a little alleyway that leads through there. And it was just a little Italian deli there. Just found it one day walking around, and I just think little things like that, they're just all dotted around. So all the big food recommendations, send them your way. Whether you go there for lunch or if it's a special trip out in London, or
even if you just stop there for a snack or something like that. It's like a lot of cab drivers used to stop at a kebab shop down on New Kings Road, which used to be quite nice.
Oh, still very good that one. Yeah, the Kebab Kid.
Yeah.
Highly recommend that. Yeah, the Kebab Kid. Oh, beautiful.
First time someone got me a kebab there one night. First time I'd ever had burger sauce on a doner kebab, and quite nice burger sauce on a doner kebab. But then so is garlic mayo. Garlic mayo is nice on a doner kebab.
Yeah.
But then I also go back to the old original. Sometimes I've had a bit of chili sauce on a doner kebab as well.
Yeah, when they do it in there, they only have chili sauce or barbecue. Maybe it's a newer thing, I don't know. But there's a certain taste and aesthetic they have, because they put salt, pepper, and then a bit of lemon sauce on it, and then you can either chili or barbecue in there. But that's wicked, and it's chicken shawarma, so it's proper. It's not like doners or anything like that in there. It's got like a quote from Jamie Oliver saying that like it's his guilty pleasure whenever he visits the King's Road that he pops into the Kebab Kid. It's been there since like the 70s or something.
I know, it's been there for years, isn't it?
And there's always people there, and it's a real efficient little operation. Love it.
So I didn't download the audio, but apparently after concerts at the O2, they're doing a passenger announcement, and they mention tubes, buses, DLR, everything, private hire, but they neglect to mention taxis.
No way.
Yep, they mention everything except for taxis, which I found quite astonishing, really, because there's a really well-serviced taxi rank down at the O2, which is really well-serviced by the suburban drivers down there, and also by green badge drivers as well.
Yeah.
So I'm at a loss as to why they aren't announcing it, and I'd be interested to know whether any of the driver organisations have actually written to the O2 to point out the error in their ways, shall we say.
Yeah, it seems almost quite, intentional to that, because if you have to think about private hire, and like you say, there's a good rank there. It's quite a nicely laid out one, big sort of space and accommodation for it. Taxi only route to get in there, of course. Why they would skip that out?
Strange, isn't it? I mean, they literally they mention like the underground buses, car parks, and private hire. Telling people which way to walk. No mention of taxis whatsoever. And
it's usually easier to mention taxis because it kind of, a lot of people just use taxis as a catch-all term for any kind of vehicle. So that taxis kind of covers private hire anyway. I know we don't like that because taxis is taximeter, but you'd think that's kind of it also sounds cooler. It's also a much quicker buzzword if you've got a short announcement.
Yeah.
It does what it says on the tin, taxi, where it's private hire. I don't think some members of the public probably don't know what private hire actually means.
No. But then, as I said in the show that went out at the beginning of January, the young girl that came out when I was sitting there with a fairway with the wedding ribbons on, and she said, come out in her beautiful white dress and said, "Are you my Uber?"
Yeah.
I was horrified. Anyway, that about the suburban drivers brings us nicely onto something that I consider to be the elephant in the room. Suburban drivers working in central London. And this is a bit of a controversial subject. There are those drivers that say, well, I'd rather have them working in central London than Uber. And then there's those that say, well, they're nicking green badge drivers' work. At the end of the day, they're licensed to work a certain area. And the problem is, I think this is the biggest problem, is that once they come into the central area, if they're not getting a job off the app, a lot of them are putting their light on. Or I'm not going to say a lot of them, that's wrong. Some of them do put their light on and start applying for hire because they've been howled by green badge drivers and been caught out. So I'd be interested to know what people think about that. And I know what most green badges think about it is they all think it's wrong and they should only work their suburban sectors. What do you reckon, Tom?
Well, I mean, also as well, there's times, any one of us would have had it where you've got someone on board and someone howls you down anyway. So your light doesn't have to be on. So who's to say that temptation If someone sticks an arm up, your light's not on, they have a little look round and they can't see any cab drivers in the vicinity, and away they pop in. Obviously you can see, because you can look at the metered amount and think, bloody hell, you're at King's Cross and you've got a $5 on the meter. How does that work?
Yeah.
And
I know there's the argument for them, if they're working off of an app, it's a pre-booked job. TfL's regulations are that they should be accepting the job while they're in their own sector, because this came up on Comcab many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But
it should be geofenced. That's the thing, because all of these, the free now and you have your bill, so they know that it's your yellow badge or a green badge. And then it's just as simple, and I think even you put in whether you're yellow badge or green badge. It should be as simple as, if you're not in that area, like Get and Free Now have your location, you can't get the job.
But at the end of the day, both Get and Free Now are businesses. They
Exactly.
don't care
Next
whether
point.
you're a yellow badge or a green badge. All they're interested in is getting that job covered, and they'll get it covered by whatever means they can. And all they're interested in is getting their commission at the end of the day, and they don't care whether that comes from a green badge driver or a yellow badge driver. And now that we've started seeing Free Now buy a lift on the side of taxis.
But what I generally think about it all, though, I'm just trying to think of the other one. I don't get too miffed by it, because it is quite a bit of a, maybe I seem to not get much work free now or get anyway. But maybe because they accept maybe because they accept it, and then you get more work because you're more regular or more likely to accept it. Who knows? But I think we definitely need more. This is what I said on the Wizam podcast. Like, there's the thing of island ranks, which I only found out fairly recently. Which is, as an example, Finsbury Park Station is an island rank for yellow badge drivers, meaning that they can drive to that rank and then turn their light on there. They're not allowed to apply for hire in the Finsbury Park area, but
Clapham Common was an island rank. Yeah.
Tooting Beck Station, or one of the Tooting stations as well, is an island one as well. And I think we need more like that, because there's definitely some times and places where we can't service all the work, and depending on time of day as well, we can't service the work in various parts of London. So whether we just look at some of those areas and go, you know what, because can they work the, I guess they can probably, they can, Stratford, so the
they can work Stratford,
West
they can
Ham,
work City Airport.
Well,
it depends on what sector you're licensed for, of course, because someone who's licensed for Lewisham, Greenwich and Bexley, they can't work Stratford or City Airport because they're not licensed for that area. So why should they be able to work Central London? It's it's the same argument, isn't it? Really, is why should they be able to work Central London? I think the problem is technology's brought about all of this blurring of the lines, shall we say?
Blurring is occurring, as one man once said.
Blurring is occurring.
Mr. Trevor Merrills.
Is it?
There's a blurring occurring, which is true. It is. It just causes a blurring between the lines. Exactly.
And
there should be clear distinctions.
He's of course diametrically opposed to that. That's another one. That's another one of his sayings. He's
diametrically opposed.
Diametrically opposed to it. So, he's diametrically opposed to that. But let us know what you think about suburban drivers accepting app jobs in central London. Picking up off the street in central London is a big no-no. And if you get caught as a suburban driver picking up and someone decides to report you, you deserve everything that's coming to you, unfortunately. Picking up off of an app job is it's a grey area. And because of the cross-border hiring and everything else, it's going to remain a grey area until this whole mess is sorted out one way or another. And I think that a national standard is not going to sort the problem. We've got Nottingham vehicles picking up from hotels in central London, totally unchecked, because TfL can't check them, because TfL don't licence them.
Yeah.
The only people that can actually nick them is the Metropolitan Police. And as we all know, Try
Far
finding
too
a policeman.
busy with everything else. You can find them going out on lunch breaks.
Can you?
That's the best time.
Oh yeah, go to the kebab shop about 9 o'clock at night, and you'll see loads of police cars
Any
outside.
food vicinity
Yep.
in region of a police station, they quickly
you'll
nip
find it.
out, and you'll quickly
Yeah.
grab one. Yeah, it's the only time I walk the
Usually
beat.
with
But
the blue lights.
it's not me, having to go out police. Because at the end of the day, it's the whole system, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not the police officers. It's the whole
They're
system.
underfunded, understaffed, and
Yeah, I do not envy their job one bit.
I wouldn't wanna
They
do it.
work
It's like-
far too hard for that. Yeah.
I was going to give a big shout out to the Liverpool Street taxi marshals as well, who marshal the rank there along the marshals from the Worshipful Company of Hackney Carriage Drivers with the City of London Safer Streets campaign, because that's another job I wouldn't want to do.
Oh,
I've got to be
really?
honest. No, I wouldn't. Listen, in the summer, probably lovely.
Yeah.
Would you want to be there tonight? It's like -2 out here at the moment where I live.
I don't mind the cold too much, if I'm completely
no.
honest.
No,
If
I'm
I
never
sort
used
of
to.
wrap up and that, I'm fine. But yeah, it's still obviously long hours, late at night. Members of the public who could probably be a little bit unruly at times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Cab drivers as well, who could probably be a bit unruly at times, I'm
yeah,
sure.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, I never used to mind the cold, but I think since I've been diabetic, it's my feet get cold, my hands get cold, and that's it. Once they're cold, and of course, being follically challenged like I am, my head gets cold as well. So, mind you,
Well,
I
it's
suppose I
what
could wear a
two
woolly
years
hat.
now of that scheme now, isn't it? It's 2 years,
Yeah.
isn't it? And they're trying to also work within the City of London to try and, obviously the scheme works well. They want to get as many cabs there as possible,
Yeah.
and you would like to then think that then is able to have ripples across the City of London. Whether then we get the left turn back into Bishopsgate,
Yep.
whether we can get better access to that rank, because after 7 p.m. you can come in via Old Broad Street. That's a real handy way of getting to that rank, and often you find if you go there on a Friday evening, you can literally get straight on and off there, because it's obviously cabs, not many cabs in the city, but go say hello to the marshals there. They're quite friendly people, and as you say, they're part of the Worshipful Company, so they love this trade. They're all cab drivers, and most of them are, and yeah,
Well, I think they nearly all are, aren't they?
they all are.
Carlos does it, Sylvie does it, Kenny
Yeah.
does it.
George does it, Lee does it,
Yeah, I think they nearly all
Martin
cab
does
drivers.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted, credit where credit's due, and we, because we wasn't doing the show at the time, during the budget last year, Steve McNamara was the only person that actually got a mention in the budget. And I've always said credit where credit's due, and credit to Steve for actually getting a mention and having influence on the budget in November. I think that was a great achievement, to be honest with you. I think that was a fantastic achievement. So all credit to you, Steve. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, quite wild, really. I mean, I'm not too sure how many other sort of unions and people had influence in it within that, but I mean, even if anyone from the trade gets recognised with a name like that, that's still good news, really.
Yeah, definitely.
We all work together. I mean, it's sometimes the same with what we do on socials, really. Someone will say, well, I might have come up with the idea of that first, or I did that, or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. So long as the credit goes to someone within the trade, I think it's still like a win,
Yeah.
Unless, of course,
Definitely.
unless they get credited for it and they had no involvement in it. Then
No involvement in it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just before we go, because we've been rabbiting on for long enough again, what's happening with the licensing of pedicabs?
yeah, that's
sort
of slowed down a bit, isn't it?
Well, I mean, TfL, it's over 2 years now since TfL have had the ability to license pedicabs, and all they've done so far is issue one consultation on it. And they're still flying around London, stopping wherever they want unhindered, playing loud, annoying, intrusive music as they're driving around, with all sorts of lights flashing all over their contraptions, and also carrying people dangerously. I mean, these things are only constructed to carry 2 passengers, and a lot of the time you see 3, 4, 5,
yeah,
sometimes even 6 on them.
I think, just from sort of anecdotally and what I've seen, I think in their kind of internal mob and mafia,
yeah,
something's gone on. Because there's definitely less variety of pedicab drivers now, and there's also less variety of pedicab vehicles. I think they've got their own kind of internal mob that kind of control them, yeah, because there's a certain demography of pedicab driver now. There's a lot more unison in terms of the type of vehicle they have and all the kind of accoutrements they all have on them, whereas before,
and the colour fur they have as well,
and the colour fur they have,
they're all got pink. They're all got pink fur.
Pink fur. The fact they all play the same sort of tunes.
Yep.
I mean, in some way, they've got more unison than the the London cab trade. The fact they all agree on Mariah Carey at Christmas, you know.
Yeah, and they all meet up in the back cave when it starts to rain.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think, right, so there is something going on there, and I don't know if, like, I saw someone got off. I think it was going on Charing Cross Road or somewhere, and the passengers got off, and it looked. I always imagine when they pay the driver because of some of the exorbitant prices they charge.
Yeah,
that it would be some sort of I'm not paying that, you're paying, you know, in some sort of Punch and Judy kind of slapstick punch up or whatever. But it looked like quite a civil, amicable, yeah, there's the fare, and away we went. So I don't know, maybe they have got someone in their internal mob as kind of self-regulated, who knows? But it does, from what I've seen, it just seems a lot more, what's the word, a lot more consistent, really. It's like more of a, it's like a standardization almost. And you'll see them, it's almost like copy paste of like some of these sort of pedicab drivers now. There's less kind of variety to it.
How do they run all them LED lights all day and all night? And like, what have they got on them that makes them run all them LED lights?
Yeah, and charging their phones and all that.
Yeah,
I think,
must be some size of battery, mustn't it?
Well, some of them were like car batteries you could see underneath there, because that you then charge the power.
They've got to be lithium batteries, haven't they, really?
Yeah.
They've got to be lithium batteries, which are quite expensive. So, yeah, I'd love to know what's happening with the licensing of pedicabs. Maybe TfL would like to let us know what's happening.
My opinion, I know we've got a lot of opinions on everything like this, it's if my cab is a mass manufactured vehicle from a reputable manufacturer of cars, the owner of Volvo, Geely, right?
Yeah.
If that cab has to have 2 MOTs a year to guarantee its roadworthiness, to carry passengers in a safe vehicle that's been crash tested, etc., what on earth does a pedicab need?
Needs to be crash tested.
That's been box welded together, or probably not even welded, probably brazed together. And, you know, with car batteries hanging off it, no restraints, nothing. Like, what kind of...
Maybe, here's a suggestion. Maybe we could crash test them with some of the old TX4s that are coming off the road. What do you think?
Yeah.
See how they stand up against the TX4?
I think I know where my money's going to be on that.
Yeah, I think I know where my money's going to be as well, but it'd be fun, wouldn't it? Oh, dear. So, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. It's rubbing off. Your forgetfulness is rubbing off on me. And,
sorry, mate.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Seru test.
Ah, yes, we never got to the bottom of what my score was.
No, we didn't. You told us all about the Seru test.
That was quite fresh when we last spoke about it, so that's why I didn't have the score. The scores take... I was told they get posted to you. I didn't get anything posted to me. So,
all right.
Oh, fair enough. It took about... I think it's about 3 working days to get your test back.
So you got it by email then?
Email.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to announce I got 100%.
Well done.
Thanks, mate. But, as said, more because I didn't really spend too much time revising it beforehand. I looked at it beforehand. That was all just using the book on the day. So I think you're all going to be fine at getting the 60% pass requirement. It's going to be absolutely fine.
Now, in the previous episode, Tom spoke a bit about me, about how I don't talk down to it. But I'm going to say something about Tom now, before we go. If any of you,
bye. Thanks, everyone.
If any of you are thinking about doing anything with social media and you want advice from Tom, I have found him to be very open, honest, encouraging, and welcoming to anybody that wants to do social media. I know he said it in the last one, in one of the last episodes of Cab Chat we recorded, but he genuinely means that. You know, you're not stepping on anyone's toes if you decide to step in, put your head above the parapet, step into the arena, and do something on social media, do a podcast or do whatever. You know, the more people that are doing things like this, the more people we encourage into the trade, and the more publicity our trade gets as such, even to the general public. If we can get things out to the wider general public and they take an interest in us, you find that a lot of the public like us, and they like what we do, and they like our professionalism and the service we give, and the way that we're courteous. And that's why we maintain the customer base that we maintain. Those passengers that are Uber passengers that basically just want cheap are always going to be Uber passengers. They're going to be the ones that get in self-driving cars because they'll probably be cheaper than an Uber driver. They're not our passengers. They're the people that used to use buses. So, yeah, I'm just going to say, you know, I've got a lot to thank Tom for carrying on my YouTube channel, because he was the man that encouraged me to carry it on when I was going to pack it up.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I said, if anyone wants to get started, wants to do anything related to this, the more voices we have. It was the reason why I got started, was to promote what, you know, every cab driver has done, the unique knowledge that we all possess. But beyond that, we all have our own unique personalities. So there might be someone who looks at my content and doesn't like me or my style, but they might like your stuff, Jamie, or they might like someone else's. And we need as many different touch points of different kinds of drivers in this at all. So if you want to, you know, talk like basically, obviously with my, you know, university background, I've got a degree in this. I go to conferences about YouTube. I swat up on it all the time. I'm looking at the latest trends and analytics, what works, what doesn't work. I've obviously put enough content out of my own to know what roughly sort of works, what doesn't work. If any ideas of mine you want to steal, whatever, hit me up, because there's such a steep learning curve to some of this. It's never been the best time to start, because you just upload a video or a podcast or a short or whatever, and it's out there, it's done. Sometimes the stuff that doesn't require much work at all is what works best, so you don't need to go that hard on it. But if you want to look into things like cameras, microphones, frame rates, uploads, editing, I love it. I love geeking about all that sort of stuff. So always ready for a conversation on that. Between us,
we've probably got a TV studio between us, haven't we?
Yeah, pretty much. Your audio background, one of the other side hustles I do is like a live streaming of mountain biking in Europe. Yeah. Like, so it's and that's kind of a bit of a silly pursuit. You know, I'd earn more money if I just went out in the cab for a weekend, but I find myself jetting off to Switzerland to.
We used to live stream some of the demos years ago.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about demos in maybe the next show. But yeah, if you want to come on Cab Chat, I'm going to put a form on the website for that as well. If you want to participate in Cab Chat, you got something to say yourself, we'd love to have you on here. You haven't even got to leave the comfort of your own home or your cab. You can do it from your cab as long as you're parked up and not driving, because we don't want you having an accident or falling foul of your licensing requirements by driving along and trying to take part in the show. So as long as you're parked up somewhere and your ignition's turned off, as long as you've got your phone, we can send you a link and you can appear on the show with me and Tom. And if you're sitting at home in your armchair, you can do it from the comfort of your own armchair.
As I am right here, my own armchair, and my acoustic panels that aren't screwed to the wall.
Yeah, and his acoustic panels need some double-sided Velcro on them. So we're going to put that on the website as well, and I'll over the next few weeks, I'm going to tweet out some social media links and things like that, and put the photos of Tom on his Boris bike with his Kentucky Fried Chicken in the front on Instagram as well. So until next week, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do so at cabchatshow.uk, or get in touch with me or Tom. I'm just Jamie the cabbie, and he's
Tom the taxi driver.
You can find us on all the socials and YouTube as well. So until the next one, that's all from me, and
yeah, be lucky everyone.
Be lucky. See you soon.
See you again.
Some extra listeners, cause we think we are great. So if you like our station, then please go tell a man. If you can get some other pal to tune into our show, we promise we will have a day with ginger nuts and cocoa.
Oh, I do love ginger nuts.